Good night, sir. My name is Miss MarcelThomas, and tonight I'm going to be presenting on the topic Data Integrity and Security. This presentation is for the course Information Processing, PIC 121 at Cyril Potter College of Education. In this session, we'll explore what data integrity and security are, why they're important, the different threats to data, methods of protection, modern trends, and some real-world applications. Now let us get started. The first thing that we'll be going into is the objectives. By the end of this presentation, you will be able to define data integrity and data security, understand why protecting data is so important in organizations today, identify main threats to data, examine methods used to maintain data accuracy and security, and explore current trends, challenges, and ethical considerations in data management. Think of this as the roadmap for today. Each point will guide us through understanding how organizations handle their most valuable resources, which is data. We're now going to be looking at the introduction. In today's digital world, data has become one of the most valuable resources. For example, organizations create and store huge amounts of data on a daily basis. From online purchases to hospital patient records, students' data, or even government data, all of this relies on correct and secure data. As organizations rely on technology to store and process their information, it is essential to ensure data remains accurate, reliable, and protected. If data isn't accurate, like incorrect bank balances, or even exposed to hackers, it can lead to financial loss, serious legal issues, and a loss in customers. For example, let's say there's a massive breach affecting millions of Facebook users. This will expose their very personal information to hackers, to thieves, to internet bandits, making them very vulnerable to financial loss or legal issues. This is why protection is very critical. Data integrity focuses on correctness and consistency, while data security protects information from unauthorized access, loss, or misuse. Let's say, for instance, in healthcare, integrity ensures patients' allergies information is correct, and the security would allow only authorized doctors or nurses to access it. Understanding these various concepts is important because they support effective decision making while they protect sensitive information and they help organizations operate safely in a technology driven environment. What is data integrity? Data integrity refers to ensuring that data is accurate, consistent, and reliable over its life cycle in the present and in the future. This is basically saying that data must remain correct from the moment it's created until it's stored, updated, and even when it's shared. For example, in a school's database, a student's grade must remain consistent across all records, from the teacher's report to the final transcript. Because if a student's grade is 6 to 7, it shouldn't show 9 to 7 in the head teacher's transcript. That would be inaccurate. It prevents data from being corrupted, altered, or lost, and it's essential for trustworthy information in various organizations. For example, if a hospital's patient record says a patient is allergic to penicillin, but the patient record is corrupted, given that medication could be life-threatening. Maintaining integrity ensures information can be trusted for safe discussions. Previously, we would have looked at what is data integrity. Now we're going to go into what is data security. So it says here, data security refers to protecting information from unauthorized access, theft, or damage from outsiders or hackers. This will include both physical protection, like for example, storing servers in a locked room, and digital protection, like using firewalls and passwords. Data security prevents hackers from stealing sensitive information or malicious actors from changing important data. It includes encryption, access control, and authentication. Encryption means to transform data into a secret code, making it unreadable to unauthorized users. Access control defines who can see or modify important data. And authentication confirms the identity of users. For example, when you log into a bank online, you're authenticated with a password or fingerprint. This means that only you can access it. It is very critical in today's connected digital world because cyber threats are constantly evolving. Cyber criminals are becoming more sophisticated, using phishing, malware, or ransom attacks to steal or lock valuable data. Organizations must be proactive in protecting their data. Unlike the outdated days where there was no need for such measures to be taken to protect a company's data, now these needs are very much important, especially to companies and various organizations. Because if certain measures aren't in place, their information will go to hackers, internet bandits, and anyone who wants to access their important data. Data validation. Data validation is the process of checking that the data entered into various systems are accurate and reasonable. This usually happens before the data is saved in the system to avoid errors later. For example, let's say you have online forms that often need to be checked if your email address is in the correct format before submission. This is an example of data validation. Some ways to check data validation includes the following. Range check. Range check is a form that asks for age. Only numbers between 1 and 20 are usually allowed. Type check. Type check is usually a phone number field, only accepts phone numbers, not letters. Length check. Length check is a social security number that must have exactly 9 digits. Presence check. Presence check requires fields like emails and cannot be left blank. For example, an online form rejecting letters in a phone number is a validation check. This prevents error from entering the systems and ensures reliable data collection from the beginning. Data verification. Data verification ensures that the information entered matches the original source. This is a way to make sure that the data is correct and accurate after it has been entered. Verification confirms that what has been stored matches the original document or source. For example, when a bank teller enters a customer's address, they may double check it against the ID or official document to ensure accuracy. Some methods to verify data include double entry. This means to enter the same data twice to catch any mistakes. And the next method is visual check. This means to manually review records for errors. For example, a payroll clerk may verify employee salaries against official HR documents to prevent errors. Another example would be verifying a customer's address to ensure it matches official records. This prevents issues such as sending bills or packages to the wrong address, which could have cost the organization money and trust. We're now going to be looking at some internal versus external threats. Data can be threatened from both inside and outside an organization. Internal threats may come from employees or other insiders, while external threats come from hackers or malware users. Both can cause major problems if not managed properly. The first set we're going to look at is the internal threats. These includes the following: employees, human error, and misuse of access. For example, an employee might accidentally delete a critical database file or intentionally access data they shouldn't, like customers' financial records. Some external threats include the following: hackers, malware, and phishing attacks. Hackers may break into a system to steal information. Malware is software that damages systems. Phishing attacks trick employees into giving up password or personal information. For example, a fake email that looks like it's from the bank could trick someone into reviewing login details and cause them to lose their money. Companies usually work very hard to prevent internal and external threats. That's why data security and integrity is very important. We're now going to be looking at some accidental versus deliberate threats. Threats can also be accidental or deliberate. Accidental threats are usually mistakes or system errors, while deliberate threats are intentional attacks aimed at stealing or corrupting important data. Some accidental threats include the following: mistakes or system errors. For example, a clerk may accidentally delete records, or there may be a system glitch that corrupts files. Some deliberate threats includes the following: hacking, fraud, and data theft. For instance, a hacker may intentionally steal customers' credit card information, or an employee may commit fraud by manipulating financial records. This is two great reasons why data security and integrity are very important in companies. Physical integrity. Physical integrity is about protecting the actual data storage and hardware from damage or unauthorized access. This includes threats like natural disasters, power outage, and hardware failure. For example, if a server room floods during a storm, the organization could lose important data unless it has proper backup and protection. Physical access control. This includes locks, security guards, and ID cards. Only authorized persons can access the servers or storage devices. Many companies use biometric scanners or security guards. This ensures that sensitive hardware and data are safe from theft or tampering. Logical integrity. Logical integrity ensures that data is correct and makes sense within a system. It ensures that data follows certain rules. For example, a database should not allow a date of birth in the future or negative account balances. This keeps information consistent and reliable. Logical access control protects data digitally through passwords, biometrics, and encryption. For instance, banks use encryption to keep online transactions safe, and passwords or fingerprint scans to control who can access sensitive data. This prevents unauthorized users from making changes or stealing important information. The importance of data integrity and security. Data integrity and security supports accurate decision making. Organizations rely on correct data to make smart decisions. For example, a company analyzing sales data needs accurate figures to decide which products to invest in. They protect sensitive information, such as personal, financial, and medical data. For example, hospitals protect patients' records to prevent medical mistakes or privacy breaches. Banks protect customers' account information to prevent fraud. Data integrity and security also preserve an organization's reputation and ensure legal compliance. A company that loses customers' data may face lawsuits, fines, and loss of trust. For example, data breaches at a big tech company has caused millions of dollars in fines and damaged their public image. This will lose them to have a bad image in society and customers may not want to invest in them. We're now going to look at some advantages of using data integrity and security. These include improved data accuracy and reliability. For example, if a store keeps accurate inventory data, it prevents running out of products or overstocking, making operations smoother. They prevent unauthorized access, builds customers' trust, reduce the risk of data loss, and support efficient operations. For example, an e-commerce site protecting customer payment info builds trust and avoids financial loss. Secure data allows organizations to operate without interruption. Let us now look at some disadvantages of using data integrity and security. Implementing data integrity and security measures can be expensive and require regular maintenance. For example, buying and updating software, training staff, and maintaining secure servers costs money. Small businesses may find this challenging. Security can sometimes slow down systems, require staff training, and be complex to manage. For instance, multi-factor authentication adds security but can slow down login times. Despite this, these measures are necessary to prevent much bigger losses. Consequences of poor data management. Poor data management can cause financial loss due to errors or frauds. For example, if a payroll system calculates salaries incorrectly, employees may be underpaid or overpaid, which causes the organization money. It can also lead to breaches of privacy, legal penalties, reduced trust, and loss of important data. For instance, a hospital losing patient records could face lawsuits, lose trust of customers, and risk patient safety. A business leaking customers' info can be fined under data protection laws. We're now going to look at some modern trends in data integrity and security in the year 2026. Some modern trends include AI-driven monitoring, which detects abnormal activities in real time. For example, banks use AI to flag suspicious transactions instantly, helping to prevent fraud before it happens. Blockchain technology creates unchangeable records for transactions, and cloud security ensures safe storage with advanced encryption. Blockchain is used in cryptocurrencies to prevent tampering. Cloud security allows organizations to store data remotely with encryption, so even if hardware fails, the data is safe. Zero trust models continuously verify every access request to ensure security. This means no one is automatically trusted, even inside the organization. Employees must verify their identity every time they access sensitive data. We're now going to look at some challenges in data security and integrity. These include human error, insider threats, and cybersecurity attacks. Humans can accidentally click phishing emails or misconfigure systems. Insiders may misuse access. Hackers constantly develop new methods. Organizations must train staff and update systems to reduce these risks. Organizations need to stay alert and continuously update their systems to stay protected. Regular updates, monitoring, and security audits are essential to prevent breaches and data loss. I'm going to look at some ethical considerations. Handling sensitive data responsibly and ethically is very important. Organizations must respect privacy and avoid misusing data. For example, social media platforms need to ensure user data isn't sold or shared without consent. Breaches should be reported promptly and staff must follow regulations. Prompt reporting ensures that damages are minimized and compliance avoids legal penalties. We're going to look at some real world application. The first one that we have there is banking. In banking, data security prevents fraud, ensures secure transactions, builds customers' trust, and ensures regularity compliance. Banks use encryption, two-factor authentication, and AI fraud detection to keep customers' accounts safe. Healthcare. In healthcare, it protects patients' health records, secures sensitive information, ensures accurate diagnosis, and supports treatment decisions. Doctors may rely on accurate, secure patient records to make proper treatment decisions. Hospitals use secure digital systems to prevent mistakes and maintain privacy. Government and business. In government and business, it protects citizens' data, supports national security, and provides reliable data for decision making and competitive advantage. For example, census data must be accurate and secure to inform government policies. Businesses rely on market to plan strategies without risking sensitive information. In conclusion, we would have learned that data integrity and security are essential in today's digital world, and without them, data is very vulnerable to hackers and misuse. Modern tools like AI, blockchain, cloud security, and zero trust models are helping organizations protect their data. Maintaining strong data integrity ensures accuracy while security prevents unauthorized access. Together, they support decision making, protect sensitive information, and maintain trust all across each sectors. The following sources provided were used in this presentation. They provide further information on data integrity, security threats, and modern technologies in data protection. Using credible sources ensures accurate research and trustworthy conclusions. And that's all for today. Thank you very much for being a part of my presentation. I hope you have learned a lot about data integrity and security.